Right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cow Corner Dugout. Here we are, and we thought it's going to be an interesting game, and RR is going to go chase this down in double quick time. I was thinking, is it 16 overs, is it 17 overs, 18 overs? Who would have thought that RR would basically be 9 for 5? I really didn't expect that to happen, and that was quite a surprise for me. But joining me today, right now, is Nirav, and maybe a little later in the night we might have other guests joining us. But welcome back, Nirav.
Yeah.
Is this the most boring game of the tournament so far?
Yeah. I mean, and Rajasthan has been involved in two of the most one-sided games. They ended up on the winning side in the earlier one against CSK, and then this one. Both were horrifically boring um, if you're not invested in the game. Uh,
Right.
and Steve Vai called it, so I'm flashing his comment because he actually said all four openers will go in the power play. He missed it by about 4 balls. So I think Travis Head got out fourth ball of the seventh over, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
So as close as that we got, but it compensated with the Rajasthan openers both going within 7 or 8 balls.
Oh yeah, that was quite the surprise to post see them at 1 for 3 at the end of the first over. But the way Travis Head got out today, it reminded me of how RR have just picked a strategy from the way Punjab played. If you remember the previous game, Punjab got. Is my internet okay? For some reason, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
seeing
it's
my side.
yeah, it's seeming to be lagging for me. Um, there's a
I'm just
bit of
going
a
to go
lag.
try to let
I'm
me
going to
try
refresh
and
it.
pick another Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, meanwhile, I'm going to take some comments. Steve Vai, yes, the opening over was insane. Um, has has the formula to get Suryavanshi being found because that short ball going away from him, short of length, outside of stump, seems to be getting him to trouble more than once. There was an occasion in a earlier match, I can't remember which one now, where he actually played a shot to that, and that also went in the air but didn't go to hand. So today that ball was went straight up.
RR, I think the
Dhruv
net
Jural
run rate now.
got a
Dhruv
ball
Jural?
which Dhruv Jural got a ball which he should have put away for four, I think. But
But it kind of
when
hurried on these guys, right? I think the pace that Hinge was getting in, people had not seen him. And as a result, I think they just kept
was
falling
he
to
that
him.
quick?
And
Was he that quick, or is just that you expecting a
I think
you
you
know
get that extra nip with the new ball. And the way Sakib and Hinge started, I think both of them were unknown entities. Though I think I remember Ravichandran Ashwin had in one of the Tamil channels spoken about Omkar and Praful Hinge. And
hmm,
yeah, it was interesting to see. And that's 8 down. I think RR have just lost their eighth wicket. And what a performance! Sakib Hussain as well as Praful Hinge, 3 and 4 wickets today. Varun Aaron as the
yeah,
bowling coach
it's
is
not
super happy.
not over yet. I think
Come on,
Sakib has
77
still
of
two balls.
90.
No, no, as in Sakib has
Yeah,
one ball to still go, and he has got a fourth
right.
wicket, as he's got a third wicket. So.
Third, right. I was just wondering, am I behind on the stream? And we have our third,
No, no,
uh, yeah. And just like the IPL of 2008, we have basically a marquee player. We have, and we have somebody with an amazing mic. That's is that going to be your introduction? I think you'll have to just go check on your mic before
yeah,
you
just go
keep
offline,
us
check on
on.
your mic, and come back. Srini.
Yeah. So the way Prabhu says that okay, traded Jadeja did not pick Donovan Ferreira to make sure they save humanity by not letting the 49 record. Wow. Whatever happens, right? That 49 by RCB is like a number that I think people or fans don't forget. CSK fans bring it up. RCB fans want to avoid that conversation. But I think every fan base is now against RCB because RCB is like the most. I think wherever you go, RCB fan base is now starting to increase. And as we speak, there's a fourth wicket for Sakib Hussain. Man, what a
Yep.
day for people who've played fantasy. If you've gone and picked Sakib Hussain and you've gone and picked the other bowler, Praful Hinge, on your side, you are a domestic legend.
Yeah,
Is my
Yeah.
internet still acting up?
No, now it's fine. Now it's installed.
It's fine, right? Okay. So I think that way, I think yeah, RRR 140 for 9. This game is looking getting over much sooner. But I thought the whole point of, well, let's go sequentially from the game today. I actually like the way Travis Head was, out. We saw that wicket, the way Shashank came and bowled, a non-regular bowler coming and getting him out. Do you think that was why they got Riyan Parag specifically to bowl? Otherwise, there was no real need to get Riyan Parag to bowl to Travis Head. I was trying to see if it was coming off that Shashank learning.
I don't think it was a
Shashank,
Shashank running as such. I think it was the off spinner because all the pacers were going for runs. Sandy went for 14 in the previous over, so they took him off and brought in Rihanna as a change. More, it wasn't exactly going off Shashank. You've got two lefties in the crease, might as well try an off spinner when your pacers are going for runs.
Sure, an off spinner is a point. When I say Shashank, I'm not me seeing a medium pacer. I'm just saying a non-regular bowler because I don't think Riyan Parag has bowled in this edition of the IPL, has he? That's what I meant in terms of a non-regular bowler trying to break the flow.
so I think two things. One is Travis Head was really struggling, right? So eventually he ended up with 18 of 19. Um, so he, the fast bowlers were failing to get him out. Let's put it that way. So it was one of those things where they tried and he was just not good enough to get out to good balls today. So I think Riyan Parag took a punt. And seventh over is worth taking a punt always in, right? Because it's
Right
the
after the
field is
power
out.
play. Yeah.
So unless somebody is really in a great flow and the sixth over is gone for plenty, then it's. But I think Tushar bowled the sixth over and must have gone for at best 6 or 8 runs. So it wasn't like they were getting away 50. It was 50 in the power play, so they hadn't gotten away. For a team where we're used to them scoring 100, right? So
Right.
anything above 80 for Sunrisers at home in the power play is under par, right? So they were 30 runs under par, right? And so that's my take. So I think it's worth a gamble. They had actually. I mean, at the end, Jadeja didn't bowl even one over. So this RR seems to have enough bowling options with two frontline overseas fast bowlers. To I would call Tushar Deshpande now a seasoned pro, so with him and Sandeep, who have actually been trusted more with the death than the overseas fast bowlers in general.
Right.
And with Bishnoi, I think coming up to his best, or he's had a very good season after 2 or 3, and so far. And Jadeja as a sixth bowling option. Donovan Ferreira as a seventh bowling option, right? Uh, so given this scenario, I think they did fairly well to
Yep.
to not have enough to find the 11 which has great so many great options. 7
Right.
competent bowling options. And I think Riyan Parag took a punt, which must have been discussed, right? If you have two lefties, take a chance.
Right. And as
Yeah, and
much as
this
we're
is quite
talking
the
about,
quite the transition, right? Because
You'll have to
from
leave, fix your audio, and come back.
yeah,
It's deafening. Yeah, thanks.
very deafening. So, I think as we are speaking about, Deshpande's bowling, we are now realizing that Deshpande can also bat. He just hit an amazing six. Did you see that six?
No,
He
man, I've
pulled that
switched off
ball,
the
which is
game.
like 20 rows back. He pulled that ball 20 rows back into the stadium. And yeah, that's why there is this comment coming from Steve Bhai called Goat Pandey, which is basically the way Tushar Deshpande is being batting right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think at this point,
More heartburn for CSK fans? No.
CSK fans, in fact, that's what Prabhu is basically saying that, man, interestingly, these domestic rookies will play their next match against us, which is CSK. And I think
No,
that
I meant
match is
having lost Jadeja, having lost Tushar Deshpande, all these guys are CSK. I mean, they are yellow players. Like what I mean. Like
they
that's their
are. I
identity.
think Jadeja going off CSK is not something that I think CSK fans would have minded. Of course, he has made a lot of memories for CSK, including the 2023 final. But Jadeja had slowed down, and I don't think CSK really had a proper role for Ravindra Jadeja. And even today, I think the way RR, and as I say this, Deshpande is hitting another six, another 20 rows back, 24 of 8 balls. He's doing what Shafin Rutherford did for Mumbai Indians. hitting sixes after the game is over, and that's something Shafin Rutherford will be proud, and so will MS Dhoni, because Dhoni had at some point, right after Dhoni had an
He built
amazing
a
career where
reputation.
he had built a reputation for these hitting these sixes, especially after the game was dead. Even though Dhoni still, to me is one of the top finishers in the IPL for Chennai Super Kings. The early years, Dhoni had contributed a lot, but towards I think 18, 19, one saw that Dhoni sometimes, and even for India international games, Dhoni had this thing where I think everybody's had this perception that he starts hitting sixes after the game is over. And let's see, we got a new Trinay on board. Is this going to be with better audio? We will know in some time, or we're going to go press that ban button on Trinay again.
Say
Hey,
hello,
Trinay.
Trinay.
Hello.
Help us ban you. Oh, you've passed the test. Okay, so 61 of 12 balls in this game is still, it's only a net run rate
Wide
game.
open. Is it wide open? Did you say it's wide open?
I'm waiting to hear Anjum Chopra actually go say this, that it's a very close game. The game is wide open. Sometimes I feel Anjum Chopra or Murli Karthik are on autopilot. Words are coming out of their
I
mouth.
mean, it's shocking how often she gets a player's name wrong, right? I don't know, you were watching the World Cup final match, but she kept calling the umpire Jacqueline Fernandez. And it was,
What the fuck?
yeah, she
Seriously?
did do that. It is. And today she's calling, I think she called Harsh.
Dubey.
Did she call him? No, I know, but I'm saying, what did she call her? Instead of Harsh, she called him something else. So either she said
Okay.
Harsh Yadav or she said something else. So she kept getting his name wrong. Like it wasn't once. So I feel
Today,
like
I think
somebody has to. Yeah. So yeah.
No, there was this-
Cricket has come a long way, but the commentary hasn't.
Of course, I think commentary also probably needs a visible change. I think there was this very interesting comment on Twitter today, which I saw about Anjum Chopra's, commentary, and the point that was mentioned is how she referred to, I think, Sunrisers as the Royals or something like that. Let's see what the exact comment was.
Not surprising. And she comes
Where
up
is
with these
this?
phrases which are mixed from two.
Yeah, Anjum Chopra refers to SRH as the Royals. Murli Karthik says he'd like to bring Ishan Kishan on to bowl when Ishan Kishan was batting. So, so,
The
so
last person who should be commenting and trying to troll them is Lakshman Shivaramakrishna. Somehow
and the
that just
Lakshman,
doesn't stick to him. Because, I mean, when he was in Combox, this was the holy trinity. He was up there with them, with his. Yeah, sometimes we felt like Lakshman Shivaramakrishna. See, the thing is, they're all nice people, right? But they just don't carry the commentary. I mean, it's just they make the game so irritating.
sorry, I
The
briefly
combo of,
went off there. I don't know, the internet's acting up. Even though it's saying 200 Mbps, I think it's just going on and off.
no, I was saying that, yeah, so it's just that, I mean, that's bad commentary makes the game really irritating and annoying, right? I think that's
Very
not
much.
fair to us as fans. I don't know
Not at
what.
all. And I think this is probably where if fans, we had an opportunity. And in the age of AI, let us say I want Tony Gregg commenting. If you're able to pass in a voice sample, you're doing voice cloning, you can actually get Tony Gregg commenting on this game. And which player would not like Tony Gregg wanting to highlight his achievements? So that said, yes, unfortunately, those are the choices we have sometimes with the broadcaster. I didn't actually hear her in the World Cup final because I was at the stadium.
You're in the game.
So I didn't hear it back then. But that said, in today's game, or somebody's saying, I'd rather listen to, who's the Steve By saying, I'd rather listen to a random Joe on the road instead of AI generated commentary, low key. Okay.
But Steve Vai, if it's Tony Gregg's voice, it'll be magic.
Yeah,
No,
Steve
but
By, I think, is.
you can never replicate Tony Gregg's with his all that comes from the brain, right? You can just replicate his voice. I think that's what Steve By is trying to convey.
Yeah, the thing is, there was a point where I got really irritated and then I switched to Hindi commentary. But the Hindi commentary over the last 3 to 4 years has become farcical. Right? There was a time they made an effort. Now the game is irrelevant to the
Right.
people in the comment. They are just talking over each other about stuff which is not happening. So
Right.
it's become a game of I think it almost feels like there's one-upmanship going on in the com box, and each one is furiously probably getting AI generated phrases and trying to come up with them and trying to, so when you have Akash Chopra saying we won it in the East, we won it in the West because India is best, that is bizarre, right? That's like, you can't, So unfortunately, I don't understand Tamil. Otherwise, I would have tried it.
Well, even
But I tell you
Tamil, for
what,
example, Tamil is also
Kannada,
as
I
bad.
tried a bit. There's this guy. There's a guy who's a wicket keeper. He played for RCB in the first season. Tell me his name. Bharat.
Srivats
Bharat.
Goswami.
Bharat.
Oh,
Bharat
Bharat
something.
Chipli. Bharat Chipli.
Bharat Chipli.
Bharat Chipli.
He's good. He's funny. But then what happens is they're not talking about the game after a point. Like, it's toss ho gaya, this is the squad, now let's talk shit. So I think the non-English commentary has become that.
Well, I just hope all of this results in us being seen as face of the narrative of the game. I'm happy to get in talk cricket and talk about narratives that shaped up the game. Nevertheless, today's big narrative is Saqib Hussain and Praful Hinge. Did you who imagined that these kids would come and have such an impact?
I mean, I feel like I'm reasonably involved in the domestic cricket game. I occasionally watch domestic cricket, but I honestly hadn't heard of these two guys. I mean, I had to literally go ask my friend Google about them. So yeah, so I just got to know. I mean, I actually watched Vidarbha game. I don't remember Praful. So he plays for Vidarbha, right?
Right.
So yeah.
But that said, I think with Praful Hinge coming and Saqib Hussain, the way they've been bowling right now, I don't think then SRH would really need to look at your other pace bowling option of Jaidev Unadkat. What do you think is happening to Jaidev Unadkat?
Was he in the 11 today?
He wasn't. No, he wasn't, right?
He was dropped.
So So what did they go with finally? Two of these guys, two spinners in Harsh and Shivang, and Nitish Reddy. That's it. And Malinga. Okay. So they had 6 bowling options today. Right. I mean, this is a promising team. I mean, despite the fact that I would say there is always space for Harshal Patel in a Sunrisers kind of setup. But the thing is that he's good when there are fast bowlers. So So I don't think he's good when there are other 130 speed bowlers. So, but if they can use Ishan Malinga for the death as one of the bank for the death, and Nitish Reddy can work towards his death bowling, or even Saqib and Praful. Yeah, so you'll find this team progressing a lot better.
Right, and that's the feeling we're getting. But we're also now trying to talk about a slightly data-driven narrative on Jaidev Unadkat, right? Because I know one night or 2 nights back, Jaidev Unadkat's name came, and I was telling Trinay, I think we should do a proper number analysis of, hey, what is it making Jaidev Unadkat tick? So we're starting today's numbers night out. That's what we're calling this section. And very quickly, this was a comment that came on a group. Somebody called Jaidev Unadkat a human money laundering scheme. Nothing explains those auction numbers over the last 10 years. While this was
Don't say someone, there's Rajdeep written there.
Yeah, Rajdeep on our group. Yeah, Rajdeep on our group. And Rajdeep basically did this comment, and I was like, wow. I mean, a lot of people were able to connect with that comment. And then I wanted to ask myself, okay, I've known Jaidev Unadkat as this red ball legend. And why is it that we have this different perception of Jaidev Unadkat? So we just tried digging it down. Steve Bhai, I agree with you.
Bring it a bit harsh on the money laundering scheme. Steve Bhai, let's go through the analysis and figure whether there is merit in these because these guys have worked hard and brought up these numbers. So we'll come back to your comment after that.
Yeah. So number of times Jaidev Unadkat has actually been at an auction is mind-boggling. He is in the IPL, the number 1 player who's been in an auction. 13 times he's been in an auction.
This includes coming back into an auction after having in a major cycle.
In a major cycle.
13 separate times.
So 13 separate times. He came in 2010. So that is now his 17th season. So in 17 seasons, 13 separate auction appearances. Wow, that is staggering.
That is staggering, and that beats the number for Aaron Finch, who's he's been in 9 different auctions. Dinesh Karthik has been in 7 different auctions. So Jayadev Unadkat has, if he has something going for him, he's been in an auction even today. While his 2018 auction price was about 11.5 million when he was picked by Rajasthan Royals, his current auction price at SRH is about 1 crore. While his prices have varied a lot, he's still in an auction and getting sold, which to me is a great example of how he still finds relevance across so many years. And
Take a bow, guys. Take a bow. This is great. I mean, this is a surprising stat. I don't think anybody else would have spotted.
yeah, it's a pretty interesting things as you start
Well
to
done.
dig deeper about Jayadeva Nadkar. And we try to ask ourselves, okay, why is it that he's being so famous in an auction, or why is it that he's still favored? He gets a wicket every game. He's one of India's domestic giants and a left-arm pacer, and he's got what about 483 wickets in red ball in Ranji. So he has, of course, his history to back him, but he's being picked for a white ball side, and it's not a bad stat. Okay, 1 wicket a game. And what is his primary thing? 130 to 135 speed. If there is swing, he's able to in the power play get a wicket or two. Otherwise he gets hit, because at 130 or 135, especially in today's age and era, you will get hit if there is no swing on offer. And somebody who bowls a lot of slow bouncers and cutters at the death, that is Jaydev Unadkat's profile as such. Trinay pointed out to me that Jaydev Unadkat has like this average, like 0.98 wickets, per match is his overall average, 114 wickets in 116 games. But he actually only
Probably
had
because he's
4.
gone wicketless in 2 games, the last 2 games.
This is that is overall this thing.
No, I'm saying
The
it's
point
affected by
is
recency. Because
recency,
earlier
sure.
it might have been 1.02.
One, right. So I think 1 wicket a game is still like a fairly good.
So go back
this thing
to
where,
the earlier point. I have a point that perhaps as in his peak, which would have been 17, 18, 19, 20, I imagine, he also had a very good, like a reverse swing full ball. So how he was getting that, maybe, I don't know, at that time they were doing something where he was getting a full reverse swinging Yorkers. He was getting a bit, like occasionally, not every time. Perhaps it was in those.
Are you talking about his Ranji stints, or are we talking
No,
only
I'm
about
talking about in IPL. In IPL,
No.
I remember those days where
he had one really good season, which was 2017, where he picked up.
no, still he was even 17, 18. I'm saying yes, he had 17, but in those 3-4 years, he was a fairly good death ball, fairly good.
He was really bad in both of those years. He played more matches than
no.
wickets.
The question is, see, he has a very specific point. He's talking about specifically about death bowling. I'll try to Trinay, if you can just maybe check it on Claude or Google Gemini, just for his death bowling stats across the years as we speak. We'll try and see if we are also able to load that in, so that we will also check what is the point that Nirav had. Because if he's going to be better than a lot of other bowlers at the death, then maybe he doesn't pick up wickets, but he's able to reduce runs like the way Jasprit Bumrah bowls. So I think
So
that's
it's
a point we
notional,
can.
right? It's notional how teams approach these things. Harshal Patel also gets picked up for 10 plus crores every time, right?
Right.
So it's a bit of a lottery with him as it is with Unadkat, because in the death you might pick up a lot of wickets. So he might.
Right.
So Harshal goes for 10 runs and over every game. There is no,
Right.
his good game is 4 overs for 40, but there is a chance that it could be 4 for 40, and then
Right.
the damage he does in over 17, 18, 19, 20 affects the overall runs by 2025, right? So
Absolutely.
that is what Harshal does or has built a reputation for, and I think prior to him it was Unadkat with that reputation. Those RPS years, that's
Okay.
exactly what he did. So it's about what reputation you build, and therefore what.
Right.
So the exact data of how much. See, if you go to a simple data like how many runs is he giving in the death, it will be a lot.
Right.
But how many wickets he takes per, or what his strike rate is in the death phase, right? Also impacts your price point, because when teams go to the auction table, invariably there is no option for picking a guy who will have a good strike rate in the post over 15. There aren't too many of those guys. So therefore you're willing to pay higher price for that.
Right.
And the second
that could
thing
be that could explain. Right.
And the second thing which explains his high pricing at various auctions is because if he's coming in the year in which it's not a mega auction, then invariably people get paid higher, right? So if in those non-mega auction years, if there is a guy left arm fast bowler with 100 IPL wickets experienced, you are going to pick him rather than a rookie at that point.
Right.
See, but our
No,
point is he's had only one really good or outstanding season, which was the 17 season, where he picked up 24 wickets in 12 games. The year after that, he was really bad, and then until 2020, he was again his.
No, but
Again, we
really
said
bad
bad.
is a
Wait. Exactly. Really bad is a qualitative thing that you're saying basis how you're feeling. I think it helps us if we can get back to this whole conversation again by having a look at the split across power play, middle overs, and death overs. Because in death overs, what is the gold standard in terms of strike rate? Because if somebody is striking 4 wickets, or is striking once every 6 balls in the death overs, what he is potentially doing is reducing the overall run scored in that death overs from maybe conceding 70 to conceding 45 or 50. That plus 20 that particular bowler alone contributes doesn't figure out in a scorecard. And that's probably why teams
and
are
there's
paying
no
that
way to
kind of
document it. There's no way to document it,
But
right?
you'd
Because if
expect
you're
his
still going for
wickets
4 for
just ratio to be high, right? And it
no,
isn't.
but what happens is even when they're not, they are actually controlling the game in the death because you can't get them away in the death. So while a guy might have gone for 4 overs for 40, chances are his back 2 overs have gone only for 18. Whereas in that
Right.
phase, that is superly under par.
Right.
It's
No, that's a
you
very
know
valid point, and that's something I think we need to check. Trina, if you can just check on
In
that.
2017,
No,
his
no,
death
no, don't.
economy.
Okay, yeah, you
His death
already have the
economy
data with
was,
you.
yeah, I have it with me right now. In 2017, his death economy was 8.5. His overall economy was 7.
8.5
In
is damn good. 7 is damn good.
Yeah, but then the next year, right after that, his death economy jumps to 9.3.
Which is still not
Which
a
is still not
problem.
a
I
bad.
want to
It's
look
a
at the
pretty good.
strike rate. I think, see, you're looking at numbers in isolation. Let me finish this slide and numbers, and then if you see the correlation, you'll know how to exactly compare it. So now you're wanting to look at Jaydev Unadkat with relative to your top 20 bowlers. Jaydev Unadkat's economy in his career is 9 runs per over. Now your top 20, all of IPL top 20 average around 6.96. So you know where Jaydev Unadkat stands. And his strike rate is 20.5, which is not bad at all. It's basically saying you are taking a wicket every 4 overs that
Every
you bowl.
3.5.
Every 21 balls. Every 21 balls, 3.5 overs. Which is like in a 4 over spell, every match you're guaranteed to take a wicket. And the gold standard for strike rate for somebody who's in the top 20 is 15.8. So he's not completely far away. He's not your best bowler. At the same time, he's able to get the job done. And if you were to look at it in terms of, okay, where is he in a quadrant? The more right you go, it's bad. The more top you go, it's bad. Like, for example, somebody like Akshar Patel strikes a wicket every 26 balls. But Unadkat gets it once every 20 to 21 balls. But Akshar does it at an economy rate of 7.5, primarily coming in the middle overs. Now, the question to actually look at is Jaydev Unadkat. While this is along with the top 20 bowlers, if you were to look at the top death bowlers, where does Unadkat figure is maybe a good follow up for us to actually try that or see that tomorrow. And I think that particular screen view is actually pretty good. It's in the full view screen. And when we look at the next, which is Jaydev Unadkat versus bowlers in this particular IPL, again he is somewhere in the middle. It's not like he's an outlier who's bad as such. Because when you look at your strike rate, somebody like Sunil Narine hasn't been amongst the wickets, so he's very high with respect to the balls required to take a wicket. And Jaydev Unadkat is like pretty much he strikes better than somebody like Mohammad Shami in this edition of the IPL. Obviously, fueled by that 3 for 21 that he took earlier in one of the games.
Well, the thing is, see, there are outliers like Jasprit Bumrah doesn't figure in this, right? Because he's yet to take a wicket. So now, see, so what I feel is,
we take this graph. This is only of the last 4 games, right?
It's only the last 4 games where you're
it's
just
only
giving
it's a very
context
small
this year.
sample.
Yeah,
It's very small sample size. So you have to bring from this. You have to get out qualitative data in as much as the quantitative data.
Right.
Because see, also what you have to look at is, yes, there was a time when he was extremely valuable. Wasn't there a time when he was bought for 14 crores and then his franchise let him go? I think that was the Royals, right? Because he didn't deliver.
I think there was
And then he was
70.
picked up again at 14 or something like that, right? So I think it was that season, that 18, 19, 20 phase, where they kept letting him go and trying to bring him back at a lower price, but every year he got more. So I think it was he started at 12, and next year, or 11, and next year he went at 12, and then next year he went at 10.5. So I think it happened 3 times back to back with them. Once they used the RTM, and once I think Royals let him go, in fact.
So I don't think he's actually a money laundering scheme. I mean, he seems to be a fairly decent bowler who's
currently he's at 1 crore, by the way. He's at base price.
1 crore, exactly, base price.
And even I think when MI picked him up, he was picked at base price. The year MI picked him up.
2022. I remember him bowling to Dhoni that final overs, right? Where one of the matches at CSK won. And it's good that a player like him is able to, I mean, whatever price he's gone to, for a player to play in the IPL, it still means he has an opportunity to, stake his claim again to come back. To do that successively for 12, 13 seasons, I think is amazing. We don't talk enough about him as much as he's the butt of jokes, because we feel that, he's cannon fodder. I think there's a lot more to him than him just being a money laundering scheme. While I found the comment very funny, it is these comments that get you to think, okay, is it true or is there more to it? So it was fun. Thanks, Rajdeep, for bringing our attention to a matter in a very humorous way. But yeah, we were also able to go in and then go check, saying, okay, what is the truth behind Jaydev Unadkat? And I didn't know that he was 13 until I researched sometime this evening that he's actually been under the hammer that many times.
So a few more qualitative things about him. He is 35 years old, so he's at the back end of his career, but he is considered one of the smartest guys around, right? He has he's been obviously, as you say, a domestic red ball giant, because he's got the smarts. He's been getting wickets year on year in red ball cricket, and he's got great leadership skills. So I think these are, he's got that thing of building a team around him, caring and coping for youngsters. So these are things which you can't really put a value on, right? So, I mean, so in as much as there is him, there's also we have a Varun Aaron now, and perhaps that is what has impacted the Saqib and Praful, right? So you never know how good the environment you create, right? I feel like, having been 3 years in Gujarat Titans, I feel Ashish Nehra makes a bowler look damn good, right? With the exception of Rabada. For some reason, he hasn't been able to get through to him. But I feel Prasidh Krishna bowls the best for GT. Better than he bowls for India in any format. Better than he bowls for Karnataka, right? And better than he's bowled for any franchise before. I don't even remember which franchise he was for.
Right?
Whichever he was for. I think it was whatever. So I feel, so things like that, I feel, so it's an environment where you are, which is a fast bowler's environment, right? So I felt that Ashish Nehra has that thing as a fast bowling coach, that he gives them what they need to excel.
Right. And it's a very important point that Nirav makes in terms of how do team selections sometimes come by. Because I had a friend of mine who owns one of the teams in the Caribbean Premier League. And I was asking him, why did you guys go for Rayad Emirate as a captain? And he's a classmate of mine. So, and his whole point was, sometimes with these Australian captains, there's a lot of groupism that comes. We felt we needed somebody who could listen to the management and who's very down to earth, who's able to get everyone together. And Rayad Emirate, because he's not real like a West Indies legend or anything like that, he has lesser egos to deal with, and he's able to get the team together. This was for St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots sometime in 2020. While they didn't have a great season, nevertheless, the management still stuck with him because they felt that he was a very cohesive influence, trying to get people together. And yeah, and same like the way you're saying, right? There are some things qualitatively which do not come out in a scorecard, which is something that you can only observe, closer to time with how that person is adding value to the group. Yeah. So that's probably the advantage that somebody like Jaydev Unadkat brings. But that said, we're now, I think Praful Hinge is being interviewed by Murli Karthik. And I'm so happy for the lad that he's...
the unhinged commentator interviewing the hinge.
And there's a lot of, I think his name has the word Hinge in it, right? Hinge is also a
Yeah.
dating platform. So like
Correct.
Hinge greater than Bumble was something that was going out on Twitter. But in today's game, I had an inkling of sorts that Ishan Kishan would kind of come good. And I felt that after seeing CSK bat first and still focusing on, even if you're in trouble in the first 5, 6 overs, if you're able to still get to a stable total, like 200 plus, 210, you're able to put pressure somehow, you can still be in the game. Sometimes as a side you feel like giving up when you have lost out early wickets, and I think that's where SRH plowed and plowed hard. They did not give up. They were able to somehow get to 215. Otherwise what happens is after Ishan Kishan got out and these guys are throwing their wickets around, they could have ended up at a subpar 190, 195, and maybe that would have not challenged RR. But RR knew that they have to score 200, 215, and early wickets basically derail that chase. So I'm just happy to see that return of, despite the fact that you have due, teams that are batting first still have a chance to win despite due.
But for that, there has to be good bowling, which is not what we expected last night from SRH, right? Because if these guys are capable of getting 4 wickets in the power play, 5 wickets, whatever it is, um, why didn't we see it till now? And I don't
Right.
know what these answers for are, because there are some franchises who think that if you've taken a punt on somebody, throw him in and see what happens, which I personally
Right.
feel is the better strategy, right? If you want to see what somebody's capable of, throw them on day one, or at least match, if not day one, then match two. Sorry, which where the pressure is probably the least, irrespective of
Right.
whether you won your first match or not. That give the chance to the youngsters in game two, game three, because
Right.
even if game four, I mean, now everybody's on to their fifth game, by which time you have to kind of hit your settled spot. I mean,
Right.
if you haven't hit by the seventh game, then you're going downhill from there. So
Right.
if these guys had this kind of capability, perhaps we could have seen them earlier,
Yeah. Yeah.
game or
But I
two
think
earlier. Best to be there, no home conditions. Sunrisers won their first game, right? Which was the first game versus
They
LSG.
lost the
Sunrise.
first one. I think they won their second game.
Okay, SRH's
Yeah. They.
first game was RCB. They lost to RCB. Yeah,
But yeah, it's
the,
a
the
pretty
sec-
interesting
sec-
points table now.
yeah, there is a muddle in the middle which is going to stay for a while. I think 3 to 8 will
Right.
change on a daily basis.
Let's have a look at the points table. Let me just try and right. I will need to first remove this particular screen and then add. Or if any of you has, I'm just trying to share the image file. In case you have it, you can always also share it. Points table. Here you go. This is the points table right now with RR still retaining the number one spot. But I think the key here is that SRH, after this victory, have gone to the fourth spot right now. Is this clear? Yeah, we have RR at number one, PBKS at number two, RCB at number three. I think the top three so far it's like they're in a different cluster altogether. Your 4, 5, 6, and 7 have all been teams that have won 2 games. I think, of course, SRH has played a game extra, but these are sides that have blown hot or cold. The domestic players have come out. They've got great performances like Samir Rizvi from Delhi Capitals in 2 of the games. Similarly, we've had Gujarat Titans with our man Prasidh Krishna coming and taking a 4 wicket haul. And I forget what happened in that other game which Gujarat Titans won, which I think is a Josh Butler special. So
Yeah.
these teams are blowing hot and cold. I think they can,
Yeah,
they're able
winning
to.
winning matches they should have lost, and losing matches they could have won.
They could have won.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's and I think the IPL competition is only from these 4 teams in terms of who's going to be the fourth team to join these three. That's how it looks right now. It's very early in the
I
IPL. I
I
know we've seen
feel that
worse things happen closer to the week, right?
yeah. So one thing is becoming clearer to me every year is that 14 doesn't cut it. There used to be a
14
time,
doesn't cut it, 16. No.
because because of 10 teams, everybody's a lot closer, and
Right.
14 cuts it only when 2 teams run away with it. So
Right at the top.
after the maybe 14 games, they are at 11 and 12 wins, which probably won't happen. I mean, for everybody's at,
I remember the last time when we were looking at the points table, we were seeing that man, RR has won 4 wins already, and they just need 4 more wins to have like a shot at the playoffs. So, and here you are,
yeah,
4 more wins, and then suddenly RR lose this game. It's still 4 more wins, and this is the
but
thing
it's
with the
4 out of
IPL.
9 now.
4
Four
out of
wins out
9.
of 9. So
So,
the odds are still good for them. So a good start
odds
is
are
a
still
good
good.
start, right? But again, I keep referring to my classic 2018 example.
Punjab
Punjab
Kings.
Kings, 7 out of 7 halfway mark wins, and then 7 out of 7 losses second half. And having been in MI, there have been enough times where we lost first 5 and then came back. At least a couple
Right.
of years where 5 or 4 out of 5, and then had to win 7 out of the remaining 9 and managed to.
I saw a very interesting graph today on Cricinfo in an article written by Karthik Krishnamurthy, which kind of coincides with MI's performances in a tournament. Uh, that year, the years their power play run rate is above the tournament average, they've qualified in the playoffs. The years they haven't, they've just finished 10th. So, does it look like another season loading for MI, which is a non-playoff season?
They're
I mean,
good
at this
enough to
point, I won't be
qualify.
surprised. They are a
They're
good team. Can they get on a roll, right? That's the thing. Can they string together 2 good performances and then they could get on a bit of a roll?
if 2 of their bowlers hit form, then they look like a really dangerous team. If Bolt gets back to anything close to his prime, or at least 24, 25 form, they have a good chance. Chahar as well, if he gets on one. Bumrah is Bumrah. The batsmen are pretty decent as well. Rickleton's made a few runs. Rohit's looking decent enough for IPL form.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
have enough batting to get through. It's just the bowling, in my opinion.
there is nobody there except for Shafi and Rutherford yesterday who is capable of a 20 ball 50, right?
Right.
So
Pandya,
the big teams need those guys. Right?
Pandya
You'll
is
always
very
have
much capable of that.
Pandya is struggling. I mean, yesterday he got 40 of 22, but I mean, I'm a Hardik Pandya fan, so I'll tell you that he didn't look the part. He looked over anxious, like he was so desperate to win that he was like he forgot about timing the ball and he was just trying to smash everything out over cow corner. Right. So when he gets into that zone, that's the Hardik Pandya, the batsman, because he's actually a quality player. Timing the ball, finding gaps, and hitting straight. So he's too good a player to be trying to do, what do you call them? Cute things.
Right.
See, I disagree with that because Rickleton can do it. He's done it before. Sky himself as well. They have Will Jacks on the bench, who's a really good finisher. So their batting, I feel, is sorted. They just need a couple of them to hit form, which I think they will. Um, it's their bowling which worries me, if anything. But what do you guys think about that?
Well, I think yesterday we spoke about this point where I think there are worries in their bowling as well as their batting. Bowling specifically with, since their strike bowlers are not taking wickets, now the pressure is coming on Jasprit Bumrah because he now has to come in the middle overs and just focus on restricting. And even he's not able to get wickets. So they have one problem on the other end, and the batting end, the middle overs definitely I think is a problem with with Surya, with and
Tilak.
even though Hardik's Surya Tilak
Tilak
are
is
the
struggling.
main. Yeah, both of them are struggling, and then we're seeing Hardik Pandya. The way he got out yesterday, it was like as if he felt that nothing else could be done. Like Hardik didn't have control of that particular chase, and Mumbai at the end, with the way Shafi and Rutherford batted, they were just 18 short. They were basically like 4 balls bowled and maybe 3 hits. You would have got closer to the target. So if Hardik had batted a little more with Shafi and Rutherford, I just think they could have still had a better chance at the target. So they
Yeah,
have
because
great batters that
Shafin wasn't slogging wildly. So I mean, we
right,
were online, so I didn't see most of his innings properly. But I went back and saw some of his. I mean, all his sixes were proper shots. They weren't hoiks across the line, which is a lot what Hardik was trying to do yesterday, which is not what I like
right,
about him. When he gets into that
right,
zone, losing his shape, cross
right,
swinging,
right.
across the line, that's worrisome. And I think the problem stems from number 3 and number 4. So whoever is playing that number 3 role, whether it's been Surya or whether it's been what's his name, Tilak, they haven't come good with a good enough. They haven't they haven't built on the momentum. It's invariably,
Right.
even if they've had a good power play with Rickleton and Rohit. I mean, both of them had 3 good innings out of 5, right? So, I mean, Rohit was after 3 games was the orange cap holder, and Rickleton now has more runs. So, has had a couple of 80s and whatever, right? So, if in this scenario, I feel the number 3 coming in has to take that run rate from 10 and over to 11. That's his job.
Right.
Or take enough, rotate it fast enough, get into the groove right away. So Tilak's not been getting it away. I think if you do a study on Tilak's numbers this IPL, I have a feeling he's striking at less than 100.
Will Jacks is still in red-hot form. What do you guys feel about potentially benching Santner, bringing in Deepak Chahar, and then?
I know you always. I mean, Bill Jacks. He's
Something.
talking about Bill Jacks.
Bill Jacks
But I
apparently is sitting in Paris. He's not
Somebody
in. He's
put
not
that
even in
comment.
India.
He was in the squad. I checked the.
He's in the squad, but he's not in India.
Not in India. This was a comment that came, and
Two
yeah,
people commented.
sometimes
So I mean,
Is he getting
Steve
paid?
Bhai is never wrong. I don't
Is
know
he
whether he's
still
getting
getting
paid or not.
Hell.
How do I know these things? I'm not his agent.
right. And actually, if you look at MI's batters, right, when you look at death over strike rates and stuff like that, MI have great batting with Namandir. He strikes at almost 200. Hardik's but 190. Shofe and Rutherford is 184. But all of this is, this is at their death. But in the middle overs, I think with the way they have been playing with Surya Kumar Yadav has been scoring. But I think, as you said, right, if Tilak is not able to get that from 10 to 12, the baton is not being passed, and suddenly it causes some amount of friction, and people end up losing their wickets, and of course there's a loss of momentum. So I think MI has a few things to fix. But that said, I think I'm having a very telling stat to see that, wow, if you look at the correlation between their power play performance and this is MI's power play versus the overall tournament power play. And yeah, if you look at it, they qualified in 2023 and 2025 and 24 and 22, and yeah, they had a bad year, but they finished 10th. To me, it's basically a non-playoff year. So yeah, the question is, MI is going in that direction. They need to course correct. That was just a thought that I had, and yeah, we just looked at this data. But yes, coming back, we had today's game. That was SRH versus Rajasthan Royals. I think, what is Rabindra Jadeja's role in the Rajasthan Royals setup? Today he didn't bowl, and then today Ashwin had even tweeted that he didn't even attack spin. For somebody who is an accomplished batter who's had test hundreds, Rabindra Jadeja has also finished games for CSK in the past. Like last season, I remember he had an 80 or 50 odd balls in a game versus Kolkata. So when you have this kind of a batting, where is it that things are? What is Jadeja's role? I just have a question here.
I think he's umbrella batsman and umbrella bowler.
As Sanjay Manjrekar put it, he's a bits and pieces player in this side.
Oh, it's
His
a good time to
quality
bring that
merits
up, was
more.
it?
No, his quality merits more, but they don't need him for anything else, do they? I genuinely feel there will be games where he doesn't bat and he doesn't bowl just because of the quality of this RR side. They have 6 good bowling options without him, 5 I should say, and their top order batsmen are damn good. So there will be games where Ravindra Jadeja does not bat and he does not bowl.
But
So
today,
did
I
you
don't
see
know
that?
if
That
he
was a
did
Will Jacks
Paris,
update
right?
from
In
Google
Bill
Gemini.
Jackson. Right.
So
He's in
apparently,
Paris.
Dikesh expected to join before their next match against Punjab King on April 16th.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there could be like a private jet wherever he's holidaying in Paris,
So,
from Eiffel Tower
yeah.
all the way to Nariman Point, and then he could just come out.
So
I was
moral of
reading
the
Chris
story
Gale.
is don't play Ashes and then play a World Cup for England.
The burnout is sometimes real. But Will Jacks did play. He played the Ashes.
He was the specialist spinner, man. He was
Yeah.
a specialist spinner. So,
Had a beauty to Steve Smith in the Sydney Test.
So I think Ashes is now such a long time back that we've had like so much of cricket in the last 3-4 months. Of course, not so much of Test cricket. I think this is the biggest break from Test cricket that one has seen in recent years. 148 days between the Sydney Test match and the next Test match that's about to happen in June. That's what I'm told. 148 days. We're on a big break from Test match cricket, and as we get there, to
Damn.
be my old what?
It's a
Damn. Okay.
damn. I'm already bored of
So
IPL.
coming
Let's get to the
coming
playoffs.
back. Yeah, let's get to the playoffs. Cut to the chase. And I think right now it's essentially top three looking very secure. Then you have four teams, and then you have the bottom three teams who feel that they have underperformed. They have like a lot of big names inside them, which is CSK, KKR, and Mumbai Indians. And it's very interesting, a tale of three clusters, and the second cluster, this whole thing can change in an instant, and that's the beauty of the IPL, where teams are going to be fairly competitive. And I'm hoping to see how a side like RR or a side like PBKs are able to maintain momentum. They did that last year. PBKs played very well, but unfortunately they faltered at the last step. I'm very interested to see how Ponting is, taking Ponting and Shreyas Iyer together or taking this side together. But yes, that said, today's match
51
wasn't
minutes
as it
in.
51 minutes
51.
in and 51
51.
live viewers.
So, on that auspicious note, can we get to what you guys have actually come here for, which is to talk about tomorrow's game, which is
Right.
the clash of the wooden spooners, right? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, you can call them sides 9 and 10. And they are right now practicing at Chepauk. And interesting game. I think, Trinay, you're going to go to the game at Chepauk tomorrow.
Yeah.
So now I think the narrative has changed, right? Now you believe that CSK can technically bat first and also win a game, as opposed to the earlier thought that, man, let's get done with the bowling first up. That's our weakest link, and then our batting can shore up. But I was very happy seeing the way Jamie Overton bowled the other day. Hit the deck kind of a bowler. Was it the way he got David Miller out? I mean, me as a CSK fan, I was in such happy tears looking at the way CSK showed up the other day, and I'm so happy to see CSK come back. And as I think Steve Bai says, sometimes it reminds me of the 2010 season where CSK had 2 wins from 7 games, and then it did a reverse where they won the rest of the 5 of the 7 games, and at 14 they were tied with 5 teams, and then 1 6 of Dhoni of Irfan Pathan in Dharamshala made way for CSK to qualify for the playoffs or the semi-finals back then, as it was called. Was it playoffs back then? No, right? Playoffs, I think, came only in 2011. 2010 was still semi-finals.
I have a feeling it came even later.
Was it?
I think so.
Because when these guys came, no, Kochi Tuskers and
Yeah,
all
it
of
was
these
the year.
teams,
Yeah, it was that time.
2011. But yes, I think I'm expecting. There's a part of me that is saying, oh, maybe should I just take a Vande Bharat in the afternoon and then come and attend the CSK KKR game? I was surprising. CSK actually tweeted today that second phase sales tickets are available. Guys, go buy it. It has never happened
2011.
in the last 2-3 years. 2011, okay. But it's never happened in the last 2-3 years that CSK is tweeting the tickets are still available. Come and buy it. So
They've never had to, like,
You,
everything
yeah, because
in minutes.
there you go.
oh,
Steve
great.
Bhai
Thank
knows
you.
knows all, does all, generous, giving, we give him entertainment, he gives us tickets.
Yeah, just
And
that my
he's also
sleep
giving us
gets
entertainment.
messed up because I've done this thing where I basically leave Bangalore at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock I'm at Majestic, and 7 o'clock in Chennai, 7:15 or so. I'll maybe miss a little bit of the toss. Game gets over by 11:30, and then I have to go to the railway station, stay in their lounge, and then catch the 5:30 train to be back by 10 a.m. So wow, KMK box for the taking. Wow, are you seriously saying KMK lower?
DM on Instagram.
DM on Instagram, yeah. So, but that said, Chennai Super Kings taking on KKR. Trina, you went to the last game. What's the mood as a CSK fan who's just been to the last game? What are you, how different are your expectations now?
See, the mood is fine and all. We're all really optimistic. The problem is we had two guys overperforming, right? Overton is not going to take 4 for 15 every game. We saw how Khalil bowled, so the bowling is still a little suspect. unless we have Noor coming back to his old form. On the batting front, Rutraj is still, he is still a massive concern, right? He is a skipper. He has been our best batsman over the last 5, 6, 7 years. But again, there is that concern with him at the top. If he plays like that again tomorrow, there's a good chance we lose. And Samson is not going to score 115 of 60 balls every game, is he? Matre again, he slowed down towards the end, and what I feel is going to stick us is we don't have a Tim David or a Romario Shepherd down the order. We're not going to get those 70 of 20 balls. Yeah, so I think those are going to be our sticking points. Rutraj is batting, bowling still suspect, and no Romario Shepherd / Tim David finishing the batting.
So then the obvious question is what Sachin has asked. Do you think Dhoni will make the difference tomorrow?
But is Dhoni coming
In
back
ticket
tomorrow?
prices, in ticket prices, he will.
But once again, is Dhoni coming back tomorrow? Have they declared that?
I have no idea. You guys follow CSK on Instagram. I'm not even on Instagram.
No, see,
Because I don't
Dhoni
think there's.
they haven't come out and said anything as much. He's been practicing with them. He's been seeing it net sessions. I saw him myself. So I don't know what they're going to do with him from here on out. He could just be there and then come play the last game and say he's going to retire or whatever. I don't know. Can't speculate. But yeah, I don't think there's been much talk about him unless they just posted something.
Right. But I think if CSK allows Ruturaj Gaikwad, I know he's mess 15 of 18 balls under pressure as a captain. He would feel slightly better having won his first game. Didn't have a great 2024 or 2025 season where CSK didn't qualify. So there's a lot of the monkey on his back needs to go. He's not been successful as a captain, nor as a batter has he been able to come to his fore. If like Rishabh Pant, eased his way into form, if somebody like him as a captain is able to ease into form, it might be a good thing for CSK to start slow and then somehow try to get to like a stable total and not allow the pressure to get to them. But I think if CSK are only going to bat 5 people, which is like stable, they scored 212 for 2 the last game. If they let's say bat 5 or 6 people, I think they have enough talent to get to 200. The base 10 runs per over expectation.
The question is 200 enough with this bowling lineup?
So which is what we've been saying from the beginning. They've scored 200 in 3 out of the 4 games. But 200 for a CSK with their bowling is generally under par, right?
2 out of the 3 times, basically.
Yeah. So also my question is, if Dhoni has to come, who goes from this?
Okay, here's a question back to you. If Dhoni comes back, do you slot him in, Nirav?
No, my question is, who do you take out from him?
Okay, let's go with the first question. So, who do we have to take out from the previous 11 that is there?
This is the 12, effectively.
12, right? So, I think I would take Sarfu out.
This has 6 bowlers. This includes 12. This is 12 including impact sub. 6 bowlers and 6 batsmen. It's Overton and Akil at 7 in it.
I think the only player I'd take out, is uncapped player for uncapped. Sarfu's not played for India yet in T20s, so I'd take him out and I'd get.
But he counts as a capped player, right? He's plays Test cricket.
Uncapped is, I thought, okay, not in T20s. It's for any form, any international.
I think uncapped counts as any has played representative as an India cap.
10 ODIs / 10 T20, something along those lines.
Yes.
Ideally, Rutraj makes way because he's the worst batsman, but they're not going to do that. And they ideally shouldn't, but on form, you'd take Rutraj out. Have Dhoni come and whack 100.
His prediction is in. He says Gaikwad will have a good knock tomorrow. So now, what is good also you have to define, Steve Bhai.
Yeah, I'm going to make him my captain now. I think I'm going to make him my captain tomorrow, fantasy captain. And it's a good feeling if Rutraj Gaikwad is one of those accumulators like KL Rahul. Always good in fantasy. You get a lot of points, batting points, over 100 strike rate. That's all he's saying. Yeah, that is good for now because he's right now 15 of 18.
What do you change? How do you bring Dhoni to now? Has Dhoni...
The question, I think he's been fit all this time, or at least fit enough to play, but he's been like, no, I don't want to. Because I saw him batting at the nets like a while ago, and not just me. People have posted it. It's all over social media.
Oh, yeah. It's on CSK's handle.
He's fit, man. So there's a reason he's not coming out to play. He's definitely
batting and range hitting and playing a full game of 40 overs in the
is a very different thing. And I think that way, if at all Dhoni has to come, I would assume that you have your Sanju Rutu, Ayush Brevis and Dubey at 5. Overton at 6. If you still need somebody to bat 7, 8 balls and hit against pace, get Dhoni in. But
So
you
which
just,
means this means that Dhoni comes in at as early as 6, or Overton is at 6. So that
Overton
makes
at
it a
6.
very
Yeah, what else you
Massive.
do? You can't. I don't want Dhoni coming in the 14th over and struggling against spin, right? So if Dhoni is coming
Dhoni is
in,
best
you
of
want
coming in 17 or 18,
yeah, in the
20,
17th or
25.
18th over where he
You have
gets like
Overton and
8 or 9
Akil for that,
balls.
don't you?
You do, but I'm just saying if at all Dhoni has to come in, you do the same thing. You delay his point of entry till the 18th, 19th over, and that is where you bring him. I would not slot him at a perfect number 6, but the only person I'd replace is Sarfu, and that's unfortunate. Even though Sarfaraz, played that
Probably
He's been
look
the
their
best
best
batter.
batter.
Yeah.
He's been the best batter across the games he's got an opportunity to bat. So
Steve
it's
Boy
not.
saying Dhoni won a game for us last season versus LSG. No,
He did a
2025.
few. I mean, it was those 25 of 10
Those
and those
margins,
kind of
right?
things.
Yeah.
He was doing those, pushing the final. I mean, he was the best 19 and 20 over batter for
Did
CSK.
2025 even happen, man? It's like I don't remember anything in the 2025
19.
season. I've
He
blanked
won
out
only
after
4
seeing that
games.
RCB CSK game. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, here's my take. Quite ironically, MS Dhoni does not fit into this side because we have all rounders in Overton and Akil who are our designated finishers and Dubey to some extent. And if you have to bring Dhoni in, you have to take a middle order guy out in Safras. So then your tail slash finishing becomes too long. And your top end, in case, I don't know, an Archer or a Berger or a Cameron Green goes on a tear up top, you're screwed for the rest of the innings, aren't you? What do you think about that,
No,
Nirav?
of course, in an ideal world, you will not get Dhoni back in, unless, like out of respect, you have to get him in. That's the only place you get him. Otherwise, MS Dhoni is better. At his age. See, as a player, MS Dhoni will give you your 17 or 8 balls or whatever if he's going to bat against pace. But at this age, does he warrant a place in that side? Not yet. I wouldn't say that. And while we've been forced to play him in the previous seasons, I think in this season CSK has enough reinforcements. They don't need to play him. I don't know how the management is thinking because CSK's management and how an average fan thinks. Uh, they're like what mathematically A intersection B equals a null set. Very different in the way they think. So and there's a reason. I think Dhoni and Fleming are very successful thinkers. There's a way they work together. But yeah, it's not been coming through in the last couple of years, and this is where CSK has to think.
Steve Boy has a comment here. Can one of you put up the latest one? If Dhoni, if Dhoni wants to play, he walks into the 11.
Yeah,
No one's doubting his
he
skill, right?
like for like. No, you have to get up Sanju and he's in.
Or Rutu.
Put Ayush Matre at opener. Wicket
What do
keeper.
you think
Wicket
about
keeper.
Dhoni opening, guys? Do you think he?
No, not. No, I'm saying everybody gets bumped up a bit and Dhoni comes in wherever he feels like batting. Ayush Matre and Ruturaj Gaikwad to open. Dhoni keeps wickets. You don't need Sanju to keep wickets.
Damn, Kerala goes on strike that day.
Well, somebody is going on strike, either Kerala or Steve by saying if he's on strike if we drop Sarfaraz. So you make up, you guys.
Scene uploader says Overton won't come at 6 in his society. Complex.
Come on, he's good, man. He can hit a long ball. He can hit any ball for 6, and he can strike it.
So he's your Tim David.
A poor man's Tim David, yes, or
Well,
Scene uploader society complex Tim David, as we should say.
You never know. CSK will suddenly find the mojo out of nowhere, and for all you know, Jimmy Overton could be more famous than Tim David in the next couple of years. You never know how life changes.
He has passion, doesn't he? He threw himself at every ball in the dugout. He had, you'd see those photos by random people who had actual emotion. No one else is really showing that besides Sarfu.
Who dropped 2 catches? Wasn't it Karthik into
Khalil. He dropped 2 sitters, absolute sitters, man. Third man straight to him, he drops it.
Yeah, so I mean, if really push comes to shove, Dhoni bowls an over or 2, don't need Khalil. Take him out.
When is the last time you've seen Dhoni bowl? I think that was
Dhoni with the new ball.
13.
Dhoni potentially will get more.
Okay, serious conversation. Last year on a podcast, Rabi Uthappa said that MS Dhoni can potentially open the batting and just smash pace and then, I don't know, retire himself out or step out and get out against spin after the power play ends. What do you guys think about that?
Sorry, come again. Come again.
Robin Uthappa last year said that
Hmm.
Dhoni would not look too out of place opening the batting for CSK. He could do a pretty good job smashing pace in the power play with the field restrictions. And after that, when the spin comes on, he either retires out or he'll get out, run and
See,
slog.
Scene Uploader has a similar suggestion for Overton.
Uh, he'd have him
No, I think
open, smash
it's
through overs
yeah,
with
it's not a
pace.
That's what
bad
he's.
suggestion actually. It's not a bad
I mean,
suggestion
instead of
because when you know Ruturaj Gaikwad is struggling, you might
you
as
read
well.
this,
Huh.
replace Overton with Dhoni and
No,
see how
see,
this reads.
I feel Jamie Overton is better used lower down the order. He
No,
gives
no,
us
I'm
more
saying
pace, and I
what's
feel.
written on screen from Scene Uploader. Replace the word Overton with Dhoni and see if this plays.
No, are you serious or are you joking?
No, no, I'm saying what is this? Does it? That's what you just said, right? That's what Karthik just.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're saying is Robbie has said in the podcast.
He didn't say exactly that. He said that Dhoni is good enough to open, and that's probably
His
what's
best
good for him.
spot.
And this was last year.
Also, ask yourself if Dhoni can run. He isn't fit. His leg, was strapped all of the last couple of seasons. So when somebody is not fit, how are they going to add value to a team? Especially a team, especially in a hyper competitive environment like the IPL. There are teams that are scoring 100 runs in the power play, and your solution is getting a 45-year-old legend inside the IPL just so that the fans have a few brownie points. I think the thought process is slightly muddled. So I don't
Maybe
think
try it
Dhoni
in that
belongs
last
to
No,
home
this.
game.
see, neither of us are okay. I don't know about Nirav, but I am not advocating for him to play. I don't think he wants to. I am saying if you bring him into the side, where would you fit him? That is my point of view, and that's what I'm trying to bring up.
I would pick him at the end itself, where towards the end you need somebody to smash. I think your spin options are more or less done and dusted because in the beginning they will bowl spin to Dhoni if Dhoni is trying to bat, and it can look ugly because Dhoni has been struggling against spin over the last so many years. I remember the 2018 season while he was still actively playing international cricket, Mayank Markande, the way he bowled with a very attacking field, he bowled to Dhoni, and MS wasn't. MS struggled. In fact, this whole season versus Rashid Khan or these right arm googly bowlers, MS has struggled. So I think if at all such a thing comes up, I don't think opening is a great slot for him. I'd still bat him in the 18th over as a point of entry.
But again, then if you do want to fit him in, the problem arises that you have too many of those quote unquote finishers. Dubé to an extent, Overton and Akil.
Yeah, I know
Sachin got
there are
injured.
similar people finishers. See that's the whole thing. Even with Jadeja and Dhoni last year, right? I did not know. Okay, now what do you do with these two people who are going to bat at 7 and 8 in an era where RCB starting with Phil Salt and ending with Tim David? What are we doing in CSK starting with Rudraj Gaikwad and ending with Dhoni? So yeah, I don't think he fits in at all. And as Steve Boy basically says, why are we seriously talking about Dhoni here? I know it's a interesting clickbaity part to go talk about MS, but I don't think he fits into this side.
See, but we also want reels.
Yeah, someone has to cut those
We,
reels.
we, we, we we specifically do it so that we can get some reels out
No,
with the
that
headline.
was not my point of
Is
view. That was
Dhoni going to
more
open for
about-
CSK? That's your headline. Tanay.
No, but he
I didn't
actually
get
can
this.
do it, man. His numbers over the last few years have been pretty good against pace. And didn't he open in like 2007 against Pakistan and score 180 odd?
No, that's
Came at
ODIs,
one drop.
right?
He came at one
One
drop.
drop.
One down, yeah.
No, so I think it's ludicrous with a team which has 4 openers to try and get in a fifth.
No, he preferably
So,
doesn't play. Like he preferably
yeah,
should not
so I
start in this
mean,
line.
it's only because we are
In
fans
our
of
fantasy
vintage,
world, in our
vintage Dhoni.
real world, yeah.
So I think it has to reach a point where it's the 7th home game and there's no chance of CSK qualifying for him to play. And that's the scenario you bring in to
You
give
still
that
got
final
Urul.
goodbye to fans.
Wouldn't you give Urul Patel a go on the bench? We have batters on the bench, man, who can get a good go.
Then right now the batting is not a problem. Where do you get a? I come back to that same playing 12 now. Who replaces anybody in this? The only replaceable
Actually,
person is Khalil, and you don't have a player to replace him yet. I mean,
right.
Gurjapneet is the replaced Khalil, but Khalil is still there. Is there any? Does CSK have, a Sakib or Praful hiding, which we don't know about.
I think
They might.
there is.
You need you yourself didn't know about Praful and the
I
other
had no clue.
guys. Yeah, and you follow Smat, you follow domestic. We
I
could have
do,
a
but I don't play. So Sakib comes from a team called Bihar, which I've never seen them play. The only thing I remember about Bihar is that at some time last year or year before last, two separate teams showed up for us for a for a tournament because their um association is, literally bipolar. Like two people vying to become the president. That's as bad as things are. I don't think it was the
Right.
SMAT level thing. It was the next level thing. Two separate teams showed up at the stadium.
Vidarbha, right? You follow
Right?
Vidarbha and
Vidarbha I
Praful.
do, but I don't remember him in the Vidarbha team. Like
Yeah,
I
exactly.
watched one
There
Vidarbha
could
game.
be
They played the
someone
semi-final.
in the squad who we're not aware of, or
The way
next bowler.
Steve Boy is typing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All caps. Sorry. Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
No, so I'm saying I don't know if CSK has somebody like a Praful or Sakib who can replace Khalil because Khalil I
Okay.
think
Who are there?
has expiry date has been passed as an outside bowler.
Like Khalil, you had another left armer, right? Who is on the bench for the last two,
Gurjapneet,
3 years.
who's now
Mukesh
coming.
Chaudhary. Mukesh Chaudhary.
Mukesh is there, yeah. He's better than Khalil, don't you think?
Based on
Arguably.
2022,
Khalil,
yes, but I don't know where
yeah, that one
he stands
season,
now.
and I think he's
He
been
was the
injured
bowling
after that.
captain.
Khalil, by the way, Khalil was almost selected for the 2024 World Cup. He was part of those reserve squad of players, like I think him, Jaiswal, and
16 to 18, yeah.
yeah,
He had a good
they were in
IPL
the
that year.
reserves. But a
Rashid
good
Dhawan was
IPL. So
also on
Khalil
a
is
T20 World Cup reserve, man. What's your point?
so.
There've been
Which
weird
one,
players who've
Rishi?
been reserves. Rashid Dhawan, the Punjab Kings
All
pacer.
right, he was
He was
part of
he
the
was in a
2016.
no 2021 World Cup. He was in the reserve. He was in the reserves. So you have all sorts of random IPL guys in those reserves. I don't know how seriously you take that.
No, you
Okay,
take
that
them
was a
because if
fun fact.
there is an injury, then that reserve comes in.
No. My point is there've been absolute randos in those reserves. So you can't say he's one of the best bowlers in the league just because he was in those reserves. That's my point.
This is an interesting stat or a trivia I didn't know about. But going back to CSK's bowlers, I think in the reserves you have Shreyas Gopal. I don't know the status of his. Is he like injured or do they not
No,
have
he had a good
confidence in his
smat.
bowling?
He had a good smat. He's been better than Rahul Chahar from what I've read up in the last couple of years. But they don't seem to favor him for whatever reason. Dhoni
No,
or
also
Fleming.
where did Rahul Chahar bowl? He bowled in the PBKS game under dew, and it requires amazing skill for a bowler to bowl in dew and then get wickets. I don't think anybody has the talent level of Yuzvendra Chahal, who has bowled in dew in Chinnaswamy, defending these 200 type bets. So I don't think Rahul Chahar has built that body of work or skill. Maybe if Rahul Chahar was to bowl first, while CSK is bowling first, I remember him bowling the 19th over in 2024 to MS Dhoni. As soon as Dhoni came on, Punjab bought on Rahul Chahar, and it's a very smart move. So I think we've not been Rahul Chahar has not got the best part of the innings to bowl. It's only bowled once. I wouldn't judge him basis that. But outside of that, I think Spencer Johnson is another left armer, but he is also
Who's
not
injured?
completely he was injured, correct? Not
No, so you
completely fit.
can't. No, these are your four overseas players locked in,
Right.
right? If at
Yeah.
all you're looking for a replacement, it's Khalil at this point because Gurjapneet has come in and done what Khalil does in the last game, which is left arm over, back of length, full length, I mean, Yorkers and half trackers. And so effectively, he's done what Khalil does better than Khalil. So I would say if anybody has to go from here, it's Khalil, especially if he's dropping catches as well. Right? So now
Right.
Khalil needs to be replaced by a bowler.
Mukesh is on the
I
bench. I
think you
saw him
have
walking
no
the other day.
CSK has two other all rounders who are like medium pacers but primarily batters, which is your Ramakrishna Ghosh and Aman
Ramakrishna
Khan.
Ghosh. So I haven't seen Ramakrishna Ghosh to know if he
Nor
is.
have I. Nor have I. I haven't also seen them. I'm just saying that they were potentially tagged in or bought as all rounders in the sport who are medium pace bowling options, maybe like a Shashank. But I don't think that's a serious bowling option to replace Khalil. So the only serious bowling option to replace Khalil, left armer to left armer, is Mukesh Chaudhary. Or you feel that you don't want Khalil, he's not getting swing up front, you might as well get a middle overs bowler. You have your leg spinners to choose between Rahul Chahar and Shreyas Gopal, where you don't have those 4 overs of pace because you're having Akhil Hossain bowling spin, getting drift in that power play. So that's probably how I'd look at it.
That's actually a
So Scene
very
Uploader
interesting.
says don't know about later, but if Dhoni comes tomorrow versus KKR, then he comes in for a pacer. not a batter. As KKR bat terrible versus spin. You want just 3 pacers and 2 proper spinners. So going back, this has 2 proper spinners according to me, and the 3 pacers therefore become Overton, Kamboj, and Gurjapur.
No, we have, yeah. If you drop Khalil for Dhoni in his insane uploader's ideal world, you still have 5 bowling options. So ideally, a Ramakrishna Ghosh, if
And
he is
Dubey.
a decent enough
And
bowler,
Dubey.
yeah, and Dubey, you could ideally bring him in. See, Ramakrishna Ghosh, how good is he in this match as a as a
I
bowler?
don't know.
How many
I
overs
have
do you
no
think he
I
idea.
can
don't
give?
know. I don't know. I was just mentioning what the other names were. I haven't seen them. I'm still waiting for a Karthik Krishnaswamy or a Shashank Kishore to come write about them whenever they get their first game. So, and it's also
Friend of
been
the
a
show.
while that Shashank actually joined our pod. So
Friend of the show.
sometimes he's busy.
He's
Sorry?
hiding after his Mukul comments.
Friend of the show. Shashank
Right,
Kishore.
right. So, yeah, probably meet him for Tindi in the morning sometime and then ask him to come back on the show.
Yeah. See, we are spoiled for bowling choices in the 11, but the problem is they're not all very good bowling options.
I never knew a CSK fan would say that they're spoiled for bowling choices. That feels so
We're,
nice.
we're spoiled with spoiled bowling options, or shit bowling
Okay.
options, I should say. Yeah. So if you turn this way, 35 runs in an over. If you turn that way, 27 runs in an over. I mean, yeah. So Ramakrishna Ghosh, I don't know how well he bowls. I personally haven't seen him. Prashant Veer actually slots in quite ironically. You can kick Khalil out and
As
then bring him in. No.
what?
Hopefully he bowls an over or two and then, you know,
So
spare
we
batsman.
saw his videos, right? His left arm slow long hops. That's his like,
Yeah. Somebody went to the stadium and got you all footage.
and we saw it.
By the
and
way,
it's-
do you know that there's a small history? There's a Tamil Nadu bowler whose left arm slow long hops of full tosses actually was the revival behind RCB's coming back in 2024. Swapnil Singh. The guy, when RCB was losing games, the moment they bought in Swapnil Singh, they never lost a game. And all Swapnil Singh would do is bowl full toss. Swapnil Singh plays in the TNPL, and all he was doing for RCB was bowling full tosses and getting wickets off it. And he was RCB's lucky charm. Pretty much like it was a story that never, it kind of went under the radar. But yeah, that's just a humorous note that I put that way.
Okay, on our group chat, on the Kaukana group chat, there is our lead panelist. I'm going to keep him anonymous here. He asked which way is Prashant Veer turning the ball, and he himself answered and said towards the spectators. Now, I don't know how right he is with that comment. Assuming he isn't, and hopefully he isn't, I feel Prashant Veer could be our 7th bowling option.
okay. Now, whatever those 3 clips I saw Prashant Veer bowling, if somebody is getting 36 runs scored against him, it's going to be him. Those are not.
He was bowling
that's
short.
That's not professional bowling.
Neerav,
I'm a slow left arm
you could do
bowler,
that-
or I
you
was
could
when I
do
was
that
18
and do
years
that.
old. I think I could bowl better. So
Yeah,
at
so
least in terms of length.
that looks
Everybody
like
wants to be a Praveen Tambe, right?
Aren't you guys older than Praveen
Praveen
Tambe?
Tambe,
He was
Praveen Tambe
44
used to get some spin, no?
Right. By the way, I think Praveen Tambe was last 48, I think, when he played in the CPL. That was the age that I remember Praveen Tambe last playing professional cricket. And I think BCCI basically went and rigged, put something danda to him for playing the CPL because he had not retired from the IPL. But yeah, I don't think Nirav is 48, nor am I 48.
So it's a bad first wicket, right? Scene uploader. What do you know about this?
Didn't you say that until May in any pitch in India you want to bowl first and then always bat second?
So that's been my, again, I don't have data to back it, but that's been my gut feeling is when the toss
Okay.
chase till the end of April.
So
let's
do
a
this,
few
no?
places
I
rain
think we
happen. But here's what's happening, right? This is a theory based on general climate in which the rain was coming in May. Right? You started seeing, like in the recent years, you had matches in Bombay, Calcutta, Chennai, Bangalore, even Ahmedabad rain out, or at least get affected by rain in May, not in April. So in Delhi, right? So it reaches a heat point and then pre-monsoon, whatever it's called, affects, or some cyclones come in or whatever should happen. I don't know. This year that's happening far too early. We've already seen that happen, right? the cyclone hitting the East Coast and Guwahati being affected by rain, Delhi being affected by rain, Bangalore being affected by rain. I mean, those matches weren't ruled out. Calcutta one match getting washed out completely. So there has been rain in the air in quite a few venues as early as first half of April. So I don't know if this law now or my logic applies. Generally, it's because wickets get slower and slower and hotter as it gets hotter and hotter.
Right. And of course, KKR profit, profit because of the rains, because they got off the points table with 1 point. CSK suffered because of the rains, because Nandre Berger and Jofra Archer looked so menacing in that game, and we stuttered to 127 all out. But yes, I think an hour and 20 minutes in to the conversation, we've had 58 people who've joined us on the pod. If we had to very quickly now pick who's going to win. Let's start with Nirav.
I'm going CSK.
Wait, I don't think CSK KKR, right? You're going CSK, right? Okay.
You are surprised I'm backing CSK on a game?
No.
Yeah,
we're surprised that you're not backing the person who wins the toss.
No, so I'm not. I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. Is it black soil, red soil? So this is now for me. That in Chepauk that's become a dodgy thing.
Yeah, they have dual soil, right? They have one is red and the other is black, and the red soil seems to be suiting our batsman as of now.
So I'm going with CSK winning it, and see again when you say 3 of the 4 IPL matches on this particular pitch, I think how many games has CSK has played? 4 games totally, and they have played their games outside in Chennai.
One in Guwahati, one in Bangalore. So only 2 in Chepauk. One win, one lost one.
Correct. The game against Punjab was in Chepauk, and the game against the Delhi Capitals was in Chepauk.
Both times batted first, got 210.
Yeah. So when you say 4 games, right? It is going back to last year. Actually, in between, a pitch was relayed, and I wouldn't really count the previous pitch here. So we've got 210, 212 as 211 is your average for this year's games in Chepauk. So I don't think that they're playing red soil. I don't think they're even.
I think they got lucky again against DC. I mean, the fact that DC lost the wickets, because otherwise it was a close game.
All right. So we're having a Steve Bhai fan club here, and I think it's basically friends of because looking at the amount of comments, I think this 18-year-old person is basically bringing along all his friends and creating like a parallel league here.
No, I'd be getting roasted like hell if I did that. So not the best idea. Who in KKR will shine tomorrow? Not Cameron Green.
I think it's a flat wicket. So if it's going to be a flat wicket, I'm waiting to see Ajinkya Rahane do well, because Rahane has never done well in Chepauk because of the earlier surface, and Rahane has always done well in flat wickets when he played for CSK. So might be a completely new this thing where I'm going with CBC combinations as Ruturaj Gaikwad and Ajinkya Rahane.
Okay.
Rahane Khalil is going to play, and Khalil is going to get pinned tomorrow. Means Finn Allen is going to let loose. I think he's being Finn or Allen, whichever you can.
Wicket. In case there.
Well, in that case, I think that's not a good idea for CSK, because their bowlers struggle and their batters struggle in red side.
But these two teams have the same strengths and the same weaknesses. That's all probably.
This is a comment for me. What are these jokes? Steve, to be fair, these are called dad jokes. I still call them dad jokes. And that's only because I'm a dad. So all my jokes are dad jokes.
Okay, how do you think Rahane will do against Akhil first up? Because we're probably going to start with him, right? He probably retains his spot.
I don't think Akhil is playing for sure, right? Akhil is always your impact player.
He is going to play. He will bowl though, right?
No, he will. I'm just trying to see if because CSK last time started off with 3, or maybe if they're bowling first, would Akhil be an impact player, or would Akhil basically?
If they're bowling first, then he comes in first straight away.
Yeah,
he comes in first straight away. They'll still go with 3 foreigners and see if they can swap.
They stick with.
Because 3 of the foreigners are bowlers: Overton, Akhil, and Noor. So they can't really keep Brevis out of the game. I don't know. They could maybe.
Yeah.
Because then in there.
Going Kochu will be the impact, right? Impact is the
Right.
one who goes out. And then Sarfu
Well,
or Ayush, whoever's the impact will come in.
you're right. You're right. I think once they
So what
found this
will stay?
mojo, they're unlikely to make
Ayush
an impact
Matre was.
player. Because CSK, I think, did these subpar decisions where they went with two foreign players in the game versus Punjab for some
They
reason.
blocked Overton in their second game, which was
Uh, I think
ludicrous.
now they've hit that mojo where they realize, okay, this is working. And as
ये तो ठीक
sides
है.
get to their ideal 12-13, I think they'll be happy with that. So I miss my rival biryani man. What is this?
So the
We're
nice thing is that the CSK 12 which I put up is pretty much the same we put up last time, right? There's no, so it's like looking like there is it's hitting to a settled point, and this whole, I mean, so their experiment with the rookies hasn't worked.
And they've realized that better late than never, I guess. They realized it pretty early.
Right.
Three
Right.
games.
Anyway, so we
saw
have
it
Nirav with
going.
CSK as the prediction. What is your prediction, Renai?
CSK.
CSK
I might be wearing
3-0
purple,
to
but-
CSK. That isn't purple. That is black.
No. Close
In
enough.
what way? So, what are you saying? That
This
doesn't
is
look
purple.
like purple. Is that looking like purple, Nirav?
So just to remind you that you guys need to not be wearing CSK jerseys.
Right.
Noted.
No shade of yellow anywhere nearby tomorrow, huh? That's how we won.
If your clothes from the last game haven't come back from the wash, just go and pick them up and wear them again. It's okay.
I didn't watch them.
Yeah.
I'll wear it up to you.
That's all right.
Same mojo.
All 18-year-olds have BO, so it's fine.
Right.
And Dio.
Okay, so here we are, an hour and 30 minutes into our conversation, and look forward to. I mean, thanks for all the 65 people who've stayed up, concurrent, listeners to our podcast, and we're now available on Spotify. So do go check us out on Spotify. Yes, so we just got ourselves added today on Spotify. So if you're listening to this on like a commute towards the end of the day, you're going to have some fun. And I'm waiting to see how our Spotify numbers look like. But for now, a lot of happiness in trying to bring this podcast daily and have these nice conversations over cricket. I started following the IPL more closely because we're doing the podcast. And today was fun trying to bring numbers. So I think if you have any comments for us in terms of a number-driven narrative for tomorrow, we're happy to also bring that and see what we can do tomorrow for that.
Yeah, so
But till
I'll
then-
get onto this. I'll provide the Spotify link on our page somewhere, on our YouTube page somewhere, or we'll put it up on our Instagram page, one of them,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that you can access it. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Good night.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. Good night. And see you tomorrow.